This is a free sample of the book Benefit from Your Breakup by Cairo, Copeland. First half of this book is posted right here on YouTube, free for everyone to listen to. If you like this content and want to hear or read the rest, or want to listen to it free of ads, visit reinventideal.com/breakup. The book is available on Kindle, paperback, and Audible at reinventideal.com/breakup. Chapter 6. Pseudo-Solutions to Avoid. In the aftermath of your breakup, you'll search for answers, or may even receive unsolicited advice from well-meaning friends. But quite often the solutions they offer, as well as what online articles on the subject promote, are as bad as seeking reunion with her or revenge against her. When you are given advice like the following, do your best not to take it. Venting. They tell you to vent your anger out. Get a punching bag. Scream some death metal. Also, let the tears drop. You've got to get it all out, they'd say. This advice is deadly to the mind and toxic to your personality. Never follow it. They say, if you vent your anger, it will reduce the stress caused by holding it in and prevent you from lashing out at others you'd regret lashing out at. But at its core, what is venting? It's complaining, albeit justified complaining. The problem with complaining is that once you start doing it, you are more likely to keep doing it. Aggressive behavior and negative vibes will increase over time when you let this beast off the leash. While the punching bag, stress balls, screaming into a pillow may feel great at the moment, it's never great enough to no longer need to do it. Further, it is surrendering your power to the person that hurt you. If Jason gave in to his anger, he'd be right back under Katie's spell. The anger was a result of her actions, and acting on it meant his thoughts continued to dwell on her, which only bred more anger. The idea of venting has spread all throughout our cultural conditioning thanks to influential figures like Aristotle and Sigmund Freud, who believed cathartic moments were what was needed to make a positive change. It was adopted by fiction writers and creators, best exemplified with Batman and the Punisher, whose anger drove them to lifelong crusades against their wrongdoers, and all that were like them. But what's forgotten about is that their revenge crusade consumed their whole lives. There is great power in being able to put out the fire inside you with water or wisdom, rather than throwing more fuel on it with venting. Talk to friends and therapists. Some tell you, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. They all mean well when they say this, but do they really understand? Some will even hear you out, but few ever really understand. The problem with those making the offer is that they may not have a helpful response back. Thus, your venting to them is nothing more than focusing and highlighting the problem that pains you. As men, we are born to be problem solvers and fixers. When we highlight a problem, we don't do it as women do it, which is just for the sake of highlighting it and centering a conversation on it. We do it to solicit a solution to it. When one never comes, we're left with more frustration than we previously began with. Certainly a professional therapist has the skills and abilities to help. Since my practice is what led to this chapter being written, I would never say seeing a pro is not a viable solution. But we can't run to one every time we're dumped, rejected, and given the cold shoulder of the world. For the world gives us that shoulder far too often. Date other women. Some guys say the best way to forget about an old girlfriend was to get a new one. This would have been useful advice many years ago. A big part of the pain is caused by a scarcity mindset that leads one to think that he blew his one and only chance with the best he could ever have. But in today's dating world, this is terrible advice. Hungry to heal himself, Jason jumped right on to the usual dating apps and sites. But the usual results every frustrated male has ever felt from these came to be. He'd see a woman on the site he knew he could have a real connection with, sent her a decent-length, thoughtful message, only to hear nothing back. This further perpetuated the perception that he was unlovable. But in reality, all it was is that his message was buried under hundreds of others that were sent to her by the hundreds of simps on these dating apps. Then there were the few times he did match with someone, but that ended up being just as bad. The women he did match with were a lot like Katie. He took that as a message from the universe that she was meant for him, and he blew it. When I had a look at his settings in these dating apps, I could see that his preferences for women to match with were just like Katie. Same height, hair color, eyes, activities, tastes, and answers to the questions. The universe only knows what you tell it. Therefore, it was not the algorithms of these sites that certified he belonged with Katie. It was only himself that did, which I couldn't hold against him because his mind still hungered for her so much. Move on. But perhaps the least helpful advice of all that is given is to just move on. Followed by another cliché. Time heals all heartbreaks. How much is up to you. Only someone looking at the problem externally could say this. If only it were so easy. While many guys will yearn to have the magical moment of getting back together with their ex realized, others instinctively know that they must move on. They can feel that the breakup is really holding them back in their lives, but they also know that there exists a difference between knowing the right thing to do and actually doing it. The first time I spoke in our initial counseling session, after Jason had gone on for almost an hour about the grief he'd felt, were these words. Loss creates an opening in your life. If you fill it with grief, anxiety, and depression, you can never create anything new in that space. Hoping something profound like that would have an immediate effect on him, I let the silence linger, but after a moment I could see it did nothing for him. While our bodies can heal from an injury very well on their own, our minds are not capable of such a thing. There is an enormous difference between wanting the emotional turmoil to stop and making the steadfast decision to make it stop. The decision to make it is difficult because we're often unsure that we can. But acting as a result of a broken heart is not a sign of a mental breakdown. It is only a response to emotional pain. When this pain is gone from our hearts and minds, our more stable self can return. That is what Jason needed to be reminded of, who he used to be. The mind, however, does not allow this so easily. It is governed by imperatives of protection. It will work against you every step of the way. It will find ways to justify the urges and continuing the habits that set us back. Main takeaway. These are all the things that you should not do. What then should you do? What will help you recover? Recovery implies going back to the way things were before you had her. What is forgotten is that prior to your relationship you likely were not happy, which is why you sought a relationship in the first place. Being single is hard enough by itself. Being single again with the pain of heartbreak is even worse. Instead of seeking mere recovery, what if you could not only heal the pain of your heartbreak, but also make your life so much better than it was before you ever met her, and even more than it was while you were with her? What if you could benefit as a result of your breakup instead of just rebound from it? I have created a roadmap to such a destination. A better life is waiting for you to take it up. Listen on. You are halfway through this book so far. Thank you so much for staying the course up to this point. How's it going? The author is always looking for feedback on what you find most helpful and how he can do a better job of helping you. Your insights, questions, comments, and criticisms will be welcomed at Cairo at reinventideal.com. Before we continue, let me just tell you a little bit about what's also by this author, Cairo Copeland. Hey, that's me. You see, this book that you're listening to right now is part of a series of 10 books called The Missing Manuals to Male Success. Because every book that I've written has been about helping men in some way make their lives better and to reinvent not only their lives, but also what is the ideal standard for a successful male life. And that is the series, The Missing Manuals to Male Success. All of these titles are available in paperback, on Amazon's Kindle, and on Audible. And you can buy the entire series all at once at reinventideal.com/series. Thank you very much for listening. Now, let's get back to the book that you already bought. How to Talk to 9s and 10s, The Social Intelligence to Connect Emotionally with a Woman. Do you freeze up when you see a hot girl? Do you struggle with knowing what to say to her? Or fear running out of things to say? Do you yearn to attract women through conversation? All of these problems are 100% fixable. What if you could start a conversation with any woman at any time, anywhere? What if you never ran out of things to say to keep the conversation going without boring or annoying her? What if you could captivate a woman's attention easily and connect with her emotions effortlessly? What if you could flirt her up without creeping her out? That would be a more ideal life, wouldn't it? I'm telling you that all of this is 100% possible. How to Talk to 9s and 10s will show you step by step how to accomplish this with a proven system that goes from opening to flirting to closing. You'll discover how to effortlessly start a conversation with any woman you want, the fastest way to find out if she likes you, shortcuts to get past small talk, how to never run out of things to say, how to flirt her up without creeping her out, the way to ask for a date that she can't say no to, how to emotionally connect with her, and the one thing that separates the studs from the simps. With actionable advice and step-by-step instruction, you can immediately put it into practice and start having better conversations with beautiful women today. Develop the superpower that gives you an unfair advantage in today's brutal dating environment. Get ready to become the man other guys are envious of, the man with unlimited options, the man that women are deeply addicted to, becoming the socially intelligent man women want to meet. How to Talk to 9s and 10s. Pick up your copy at reinventideal.com/talk. Man's Guide to Making Male Friends. Cultivating male friendship and making friends as an adult for men. What if you weren't the only guy that had trouble finding quality guy friends and keeping them in your life? More than likely you're not. Heterosexual males today are the loneliest demographic. Tragically, they are the ones that would benefit the most from friendship as they suffer from higher cases of depression and suicide. But isn't it just so awkward to go talk to another guy you don't know and try to be his friend? Sometimes, doesn't it make you feel girly to want to be closer to other guys? You're not alone. But what should men do? This book will show you how to fill this void in your life without awkwardness, looking silly, feeling gay, or embarrassing yourself. In the book, I will show you where to find high-quality men to befriend, the scientific formula that forges loyal friendships, a set of standards to ensure depth to your relationships, overcoming social barriers, optimally prioritizing and organizing the people in your life, and what a male friend can do for you that a woman cannot, not even your girlfriend. I've worked with hundreds of men and helped them achieve living their best lives. Many of those clients were socially isolated and without guy friends as well. So in this book, I will share my wisdom of all the case studies that I've worked on with you. I will outline solid methods and practical advice for the lonely, forgotten man to expand his social circle. A better life with brotherhood is just a click away at reinventideal.com/friends. The Road to Wrinkled Bed Sheets. How to get laid fast and often. What does it take to get beautiful women in bed quickly? Discover for yourself the proven, repeatable process that gets her eager for bedroom fun within hours of meeting you without lying, spending lots of money, or going to shady clubs late at night. Many guys get manipulated by the possibility of sex into doing things they don't want to do. But now, you can be at ease with the certainty of sex before the night is over. In this book, you will discover, step by step, how to go from the first date to the bedroom by the next date with the system that works for all life stages and situations. The specific words to say to get her interested and invested in having sex with you. The best ways to handle objections and protecting yourself from drama and false accusations of misconduct. Exact logistical date planning to increase your odds of success. How to manage her perception of you so she puts you in the category of lover instead of nice guy that's just a friend. The 8 motivations women have and the 4 necessities they require to give you the sex that you want. Shortcuts and dating hacks that save you time, energy, and money in this pursuit. I will also show you how to avoid the most common mistakes that most guys make, which turn her off and ruin the night. And I will show you how to adjust and customize the system For your own specific goals, no matter if you're looking for a serious girlfriend, a regular friend with benefits, or just a night of fun, this approach works no matter what. Become the alluring man that you envy at reinventideal.com/bedsheets. Thank you for listening to this free sample of the book Benefit from Your Breakup by Cairo Copeland. If you enjoyed it and want to hear or read the rest, or want to listen to it free of ads, visit reinventideal.com/breakup. The book is available on Kindle, paperback, and Audible at reinventideal.com/breakup.